Welcome to Bayloric TV with Ingram Jones. Today's show, January 10th, 2013, Bayloric presents special guest Peter Fury.
Hi and welcome to Bayloric TV. I'm your host Ingram Jones, and on the show tonight we've got an in-depth interview with the man behind Tyson Fury, his uncle and trainer, Peter Fury. So, let's get into it.
Hello, Ingram.
Good evening, Peter. How are you?
Good evening. I'm good, thank you very much. Yourself?
I'm fine. Thank you for choosing to speak to Bayloric TV.
Yeah, I'm privileged.
No, I'm the privileged one to have you on the show, to be honest. So, first and foremost, you are the trainer of Tyson Fury.
Yes, I am.
And also the uncle of Tyson Fury.
Yes, you could say we're a little bit close.
Yes, you're related. Okay,
Yes.
so I've got to start by asking about yourself, how you got into boxing, why boxing. I mean, so just elaborate.
Well, my fathers and grandfathers before me has always been in boxing. I grew up as a little boy around boxing and watching my uncles fight on the cobbles. And, we've always been involved in it. I had a short amateur and professional career myself. I trained my brother, which is Tyson's father, when he was boxing. So, it's been a lifetime of involvement, and it's all in our ancestry as well.
Wow. So, I mean, in terms of that, were there any champions at that time in your ancestry?
Yes, I've got some famous relatives. I've got a relative back in the 1800s who fought for the world title.
Wow.
We've got a very famous uncle who was undefeated in bare knuckle fist fights. He had 300.
Wow.
And, his name is Bartholomew Gorman.
Okay.
So there's plenty of fighting history. And on Tyson's mother's side, they're also very well-known, famous fighting breed of people.
So you've come. So the background is basically a fighting background. There's no backing down there.
No, we come from fighting people, and everybody that knows our family in England, abroad, wherever it may be, and anybody who's listening to this interview who knows me from the years as being a young man growing up, they know what I say, I mean, and I just tell the truth as it is. And we come from fighting people, and everybody knows us as that.
Okay. The difference between coming from fighting people and wanting to have a fight, there are people that say, I've got a fighting background, I'll fight anyone, anytime, any place, anywhere. And that sounds great, but in the world of boxing, as you and I know, it's about management as well, and getting the best fights and the right fights at the right time.
Sure.
What do you think?
Listen, I agree with you. It's all about people who say things like that. Proper fighting people respect other fighters. They might give the bravado on the TV or on a few tweets and this and that, but deep down they know the pain barriers they have to go through. So all fighters are respected for getting in the ropes. And what I will say is this: no matter how good a fighter is, if you're not carefully managed and you're not looked after properly, you won't make it to the top. So this is the thing. So there's a lot of things involved in world boxing.
Some people would say that to be well managed is also to be protected, which means that you're not prepared to take the fights that matter to make you the fighter that you need to be to become a world champion.
Well, I'll say it like this. It's like let's go over Tyson's past career. He's only been training properly over the last 12 months. So to put him in with a world-class heavyweight champion 18 months ago would have been suicide. If he'd have fought the likes of Kevin Johnson 18 months ago, it would have been a foregone conclusion. Some people, well, all heavyweights, they've all got to learn the trade. Some are more privileged than others. They have better facilities, better management teams. But Tyson's got his act together now. He's had 20 fights, and he's ready. And there's certainly no hand picking here. You know, he's fighting the best out there. We tried Boytsov. We've tried loads of people, you know. We also offered Fast Eddie Chambers to fight as well. So, you know, there's plenty of people out there to back up what I'm saying. You know, we want the big fights, but it's been difficult to get them.
One of the fights that everyone will talk about is the fight with David Price. Now, before I go any further about David Price, Tyson made a few references, called him a plumber and a big stiff idiot. So, and Tony Bellew. Can you explain to me, first of all, what a plumber is?
You know, it's I have to laugh at this because a plumber, David Price was a plumber, I believe, because I know a lot of friends in Liverpool where his hometown is, and I actually know a friend of his, and he is a qualified plumber in reality. So before he ventured into professional boxing.
So when Tyson said you plumber, I mean, that wasn't an insult. That actually was the truth.
Well, what I think Tyson is actually referring to is I'm going to send you back to your previous job, which is plumbing.
Oh, right. Well, he could have said that as well to make it quite clear. To say,
maybe he should. And as regards of Bellew, I think it's because he's heard a few side whispers from Bellew, what he thinks of Tyson, and Tyson's just giving it back, you know. So, but ultimately, look, you know, Tyson respects the fighters. You know, Bellew's doing very well, and I wish him all the very best of luck, and I'm sure Tyson. He doesn't wish any harm to anybody, you know. He's just hyping it all up, you know. Tyson is a very happy, comical character. He's lively, you know, and he doesn't take anything serious. And that's probably a problem for Tyson.
You're coming from a fighting background, and there are fans out there that I don't know if they take Tyson tongue in cheek or they take him very seriously when he starts offering out UFC fighters.
Yes.
I think it's the guys Cain Vasquez, something like that.
Look, you know, I know various people in that industry, and Tyson trains with some K1 champions over here in Holland and Belgium.
Yes.
And you know, and we know how Tyson knows just how hard that sport is, and you know, he trains alongside of MMA fighters, and they spar him in the ring and things like this. And Tyson's a true fighting sportsman, and he loves to fight. And you know, if you offered him a fight tomorrow with any of these world champions, you know,
he'd take it.
He'd be over the top rope. He'd be straight in. But you know, it's like anything else.
Without being disrespectful, and it's not being disrespectful. He seems crazy enough to go and fight anybody at any time, at any sport. He'll fight anyone. It's like, which is fine, but I think even that needs to be pegged back.
No, look, it's not a serious thing. You know, Tyson has a laugh with me. Tyson's purely boxing, and the other thing is as well, he's never going to be anything as an MMA fighter or this and that because he's not trained for. And to be a world-class athlete, you have to train and dedicate to one job. You can't be a jack of all jobs, can you?
You know, but his statements that were made, he said he's dead and he's going to do this, and he's a small guy, and as soon as he gets in a ring with me, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Yeah, it sounds funny, and be quite honest, and I'll say it to Tyson that he's on the way to win the Undisputed Shit Talker of the Year award for 2013, because that rant was amazing. It was fun. It's the sort of stuff that fans love to hear. But in all seriousness, I mean, going to fight MMA fighter, as much as it's applaudable and great, we need Tyson Fury in the heavyweight division. We can't afford to have him getting his legs broken or him getting dusted up in the UFC, to be honest.
I can assure you that Tyson's career is on track with boxing, and it certainly isn't MMA. It isn't K1. It isn't anything. You know, full respect to them guys, but you know they're not going to be breaking my nephew's arm, I'm afraid, in the near future.
So, in terms of Tyson and street fights, is this something that he's done before?
No, Tyson's never had any street fights. He's strictly a boxing man, and this is what I mean. His character, when you meet the guy, you know, he's unbelievable. He's just a character. You know, he just takes everything with a joke. It's funny. You know, you you may hear him on the Twitter, and like he's being deadly serious, but he'll just put the Twitter down. And he'll have a laugh and a joke. Like he's just not. He'll just feed back banter with banter. He's a unique character to say the least. But you listen, I don't even read his tweets because it's all bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure he sees it too. And the thing is, I mean, I did a video once on Tyson's rants. I find it very funny. I find it hilarious. I can sit down and listen to Tyson all day long. There are some fighters in the world, they've got great boxing skill, but I couldn't listen to them for 2 minutes. I wouldn't go and listen to them talk because they're boring as hell. But Tyson, not only can the guy fight, he can talk.
Yeah, what Tyson's got is a genuine gift. Tyson is a unique character. He's got such a nice way with him. I'm not saying it because he's my nephew. Push all that to one side. If you crap, you crap, and whatever you are in your personality, I will give you my honest opinion, yeah? Because life's too short to mess around. And the thing is, he's unique in the regards of he takes his profession deadly serious.
Well, I guess Team Fury will never need a PR agent when it comes to Tyson Fury, will they? They won't need anyone to sell him.
No, and I think every corner of the world knows Tyson Fury for all the wrong or right reasons.
Well, for me, I think he's pretty smart in what he's doing in trying to and talk his way. And obviously he can fight to back it up. David Haye, another British fighter, he got his fight with Vladimir Klitschko, let's be fair. He ran up those stairs. David can fight. David got up the stairs, ran up the escalator and told him to fight the real man. And he riled the Klitschko brothers up and gave it to them full, and it didn't lit up. And obviously people wanted to see the fight. They wanted to see David get his ass kicked or David kick their ass. So marketing-wise, it's great. It's just when the performance doesn't come out according to how the mouth has been run, that's where fans sort of get disappointed and get upset. He redeemed himself to some degree against Derek Chisora. People still want to see him fight Vitali.
Yeah, it's like anything else. Where Tyson's fortunate in that category. I take full responsibility that Tyson can back up his rants, he can back up his words, because when I send him out there, he's ready. And the fighter's studied. He trains as hard, if not as hard as anyone in the world. He's on that level of training. So, he's ready. He's ready for anyone. And come this year, there's going to be big things. And then all the talking, all the guessing, and all the proving with words will all be ended, because Tyson will have the belt round his waist, and that's my aim for this year.
Okay, I'll put it this way. I mean, Tyson's had 20, 21 fights now, is it, or more?
He's had 20.
20 fights. I say he's had 20 fights. Do you feel that 20 fights is enough to get in the ring with somebody like Vitaly Klitschko?
To be quite honest, Tyson's got still a little bit of improving to do. I see one or two little cracks appear, but they're only like how do you say? They're only like fine tweaks now. He's getting up there. Obviously, as the more fights go on, he's going to get more seasoned, and he's just going to blend into that world level. Let's face it, Tyson's only fought one world level fighter at the moment, and this is Johnson. The rest are good domestic fighters at best. They're not world class fighters. So he stepped up to Johnson. And until we see what they're like with world class fighters, then we don't see these little cracks. I'm not. Tyson done very well. He worked to a game plan, and I'm very happy with the fight. It went exactly to plan. But also, it's good to see someone on a decent level where Tyson's got to think. He can't do as he wants, and he's got to stay focused. So it's another learning fight again. But come match, he's ready. So if Vitaly decides to fight Tyson for any reason in March, we would take it, and we'll just see how it goes.
Okay, Kevin Johnson. You saw my video of my prediction for Kevin Johnson. I said that Kevin Johnson is more interested in putting his chin behind his shoulder and deflecting punches rather than actually having any sort of real arsenal. But if Tyson were to stick his chin in front of Kevin Johnson, he'd take it off for him. I predicted that. Go ahead.
Sorry, Kevin Johnson was never going to be an exciting fight. Even the fight, when I looked it back on the video, Tyson was the only one that made it exciting, because Tyson really is a defensive fighter. He's not a fighter coming forward. So, and then you got Kevin Johnson, who's a defensive fighter and extremely defensive. So it doesn't recipe for a good fight. So when I first mentioned this fight to Tyson, he went, "Oh," he said, "I've done all this training," and he said, "You're getting me Kevin Johnson." He said, "Get me somebody that comes forward. Get me a big puncher," he said, "that's coming forward for a fight, because that's what suits Tyson." Now, when he realised he had Johnson, at first he said, "I don't want Johnson." And then I said to him, I spoke to him, and he come back 2 hours later and he went, "What the hell? I'm the best heavyweight in the world. Get me anybody." But, that was Tyson's first words when Johnson was offered to him. So, when you got two fighters like that, it doesn't spell for a good fight. So that's why I'm extremely happy with that fight.
Okay, the Johnson fight. The Johnson fight was one which catapulted Tyson into another level altogether.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I don't know how to put this. He now needs to fight. He may get to fight Vitali in March. Do you think that Kevin Johnson really is the benchmark to prepare to fight Vitali? Would you not like to have a couple more fights against guys around Vitali's height to prepare for Vitali?
Yeah, look, Vitali Klitschko, some people say he's on the slide, this and that. Vitali Klitschko can only be on the slide because of his age. Because talent-wise, awkwardness, he isn't a world-class fighter for nothing. These are great, great professional fighters. So they've done great things for boxing. So to say Tyson's ready and he's going to do this and he's going to do that would be very, very silly. If we get the fight, we'll take the fight, because I believe, has Tyson got better skills, or is he better than Vitali? I would say he's probably not better than Vitali. But what I would say is, the more will he's got, the youthness on his side, the amount of skill that Tyson does possess, I think Tyson has got the youth on his side to give Vitali big problems. And I predict Tyson will be triumphant if he boxes. On the basis of that, youth against age. But talent and all this, I'm taking nothing away from Vitali, because Vitali is one awkward boxer.
He has got a lot of skill. A lot of people disrespect Vitali Klitschko. He's got a lot of skill there.
The man throws right hands from the floor. This fella is very, very hard to hit. He hits people, and he's a very, very talented world champion.
Now I'm going to go back a bit. Before Tyson came to you, the training he had before, Chris Johnson.
Yes.
I'm going to go back to the Nicholas Further fight and the Pychek fight.
Yeah.
I want to go to the Pychek fight. The Pychek fight where Tyson was dropped.
Yeah.
People would say that Pychek wasn't a big puncher, and Tyson was dropped and hurt by Pychek, and that Tyson fighting a big puncher would not have got off the canvas.
Right, well, I will say this. Tyson, if you watch that fight over again, and just have a look at it on the video, when Tyson is stood with his 2 feet square, not 1 foot behind the other. So when he walks in straight forward into a heavyweight and takes a big overhand right hand, he's got nowhere to go, only fall backwards. So he falls straight off his feet, and he more or less went off balance. He got hit with the right hand, there's absolutely no doubt, but he more or less got pushed over with it. So maybe if he'd have had 1 foot at the back of the other and got it with the right hand, it may have been a different job. But because he got it square on, he more or less, he rode the punch with his body falling backwards. Now, when I spoke to Tyson afterwards, he said, I felt it, he said, but the punch never really had any effect. He said, when I got up, my vision was right, my legs were strong, and I just thought, right, you're getting it, So that was that. He got hit more in the Further fight than what he did with Pychek.
Okay, can you explain more about the Further fight then?
Yeah, he said he was coming in. He said he got it with an overhand right. He took it full on, and he said the vision went in his eye that he got it on, and he said just for about 3 or 4 seconds, he said it went black. He said in one eye. He said I can see out the other one, but not in the other one. He said he caught me with a good shot, and he said and with that, he said I just thought right. He said more me, and he said and I just had a war with him. But against the Pychek, when everybody's going on about, he wasn't hurt much at all. It's because he was off balance. But look, if Tyson would have been in against a world-class heavyweight back then, you're absolutely correct. He'd have been knocked out. If Nikolai Further would have been a lot better than what he was, Tyson would have been knocked out because everything was wrong with Tyson. His conditioning, his training, his outlook on it, everything was wrong. He was only winning on natural ability alone. And that will only take you so far in world heavyweight boxing.
I noticed that obviously back in those days, back when he was on, I think it was Big Fight. I think it was Big Fight Live, which was on ITV when he had to deal with ITV. Tyson was coming through the ranks. Tyson was criticised heavily about his midsection and him like being a fat heavyweight.
Yeah, I've had long talks with Tyson, and it's all about understanding people's feelings, the mentality, and everything else. And when people saying to you, "Don't train too hard, you're leaving it all in the gym, eat what you want, you're a big heavyweight," and he's doing the training and he's looking at himself in the mirror, his shape's not changing, and he's battling against, he's on a treadmill running and going nowhere. So basically then the momentum goes down. You start looking at yourself, think, well, everybody's telling me I'm this, I'm a world champion to be, and this and that. And then depression starts, and there was rants in the paper where he felt like driving a car through the wall because people was telling him that many different things, which was all the wrong things. So basically Tyson's a very intelligent lad. And the thing is, when people give him bad advice and he's going along with it, and he's not getting the results he wants, he's going to go into despair. So this is why, he needed a change in his life and a wake-up call. And luckily, he's got his act together properly.
Now, going back into those reports that Tyson was having, some said in the reports that issues of the big bouts, depression and stuff like that. Was that when you took him over, or you had him, or was that when he was with Chris Johnson?
No, Chris Johnson took him over. I'm not disrespecting any of the previous trainers. He's been with Emmanuel Stewart. He's been everywhere. And Emmanuel Stewart, we know, one of the best trainers in the world.
Yes.
He had a lot of respect for Emmanuel. His uncle, my other brother, he done the best he could for him. And people's doing the best they can. But sometimes it's all about what the fighter wants. And if they're telling the fighter things and it's not responding, or it's just not working out for whatever reason, and it's like Chris Johnson. He came over within a few weeks, to get Tyson ready for a fight. How can Chris Johnson prepare Tyson fully for a fight in 2 weeks? It's just crazy talk and saying, Tyson Fury, you're going to be a world champ. You're going to be a world champ. That's not talk silly. I've had Tyson for 12 months and he's still making mistakes. It takes months and months to correct technique and learn boxing skills and get your balance and stepping in and out of shots and using your range. There's so much involved in fighting. Because when you're a professional means dedication, accuracy, perfection, and not settling for anything less. So how can somebody change a young kid what's overweight, not conditioned, not punching properly, so all in 2 weeks? So I don't blame Chris Johnson, but certainly they was giving him the wrong information, saying world champion in 2 weeks. Absolute nonsense.
Wow, that's some heavy stuff. I also heard stories about Tyson Fury training himself.
Yeah, he'd go in, hit a bag in a shed, and he'd come in, he'd eat a lot of food, he'd go and eat sweets and do what he wanted, and there was nobody there with a strong enough willpower to tell him exactly what's what. This is but for a young lad, obviously the talent has always been there with Tyson, and he's always had the ability. And because he had that natural ability, he got 17 fights and 17 wins. But because he was stepping up, and he was stepping up against decent fighters, then the cracks was appearing. He was only ever going to go so far, and this is professional boxing. You get when you cut corners, you get found out. And if you're not prepared properly, then you don't belong in there.
So when did Tyson realise that he couldn't cut corners? Because obviously now you look at Tyson now and you look at his body structure. He's lost a lot of that weight. He looks like a mean fighting machine now compared to what he did look like.
Well, you know, he's realised, because the last two fights he had, I think, against Pychek and the other one, Further, I advised him on both fights, and I said against Further, I said, can you please come and see me? So he came to see me. I sat him down in my house, and I said, look, I said, this has got to stop. I said, you're my nephew. I don't like getting involved. I said, but you're ruining your career. I said, please, I said, if you're going to continue down this route, I said, quit boxing. I said, because don't believe that you're making it to the top. I said, you're not. I said, so either carry on, do it properly, or forget about it. And he said to me, yeah, we had a discussion for 2 hours, and he said, yeah, I'm going to do this, do that. And then he went, and certain people was giving him pressure. You know, we've made this fight, you've got to take it, you know, there's good money involved, you need the money, it's this and that, you don't get offered these fights. And then he decided to take it. But I think once he had the fight, and he had a back-to-back problem, you know, in both them fights, I think then it realised what I was saying to him was correct. So then he left whatever current trainers he had at that time. I don't know who he had. And they just come to me. He said, who do you recommend? So I recommended him somebody else, which was Brendan Ingle. And because I've known him all my life. I've trained there myself from being a little boy. So I recommended him. So he went over, had meetings with Brendan and his son. And they agreed to take him on because they know the family. And obviously Tyson's a great prospect. So they're going to want to take him on. So they said they could do big things for Tyson, and we met with Mick Hennessy. We was all in agreement with it, and then he was going to start in 2 weeks, and then he came to me. He said, "Can I just do a little bit of training here until I go to Brendan's?" I said, "Yeah, no problem." And then he was supposed to go to Brendan's, and then he phoned me up. He said, "I've got an announcement to make." He said, "I want you to train me." So that's where we left. That's how we started.
Wow. So how did the whole Mick Hennessy? Why did you choose to go to Mick Hennessy? Why not Frank Maloney or Frank Warren or someone else or Steve Goodwin? Why did you go to Hennessy? Do you know why?
Well, Tyson spoke to me, and we went down to see Frank Maloney before Tyson turned pro, and you know, Frank Maloney sat there, you know, and we got invited down. We even had to buy the Chinese for Maloney, you know, and he's supposed to be the promoter. So, you know, he came down, he discussed things with us, and you know, we just went away. And I said to Tyson, and to be fair to Maloney, he put a deal forward. It wasn't too bad actually, and then I sat him down with Barry McGuigan, and we had a meeting with him. And at this time, I didn't know Mick Hennessy. So I had no involvements with Mick. And I just put Tyson forward to the recommendations that I got. So he sat down with Barry McGuigan. He agreed to go with Barry McGuigan. So that was all sorted and done as far as I was concerned. And I was happy for him to go there. But then they went away. And then the next thing I hear, Tyson signed up with Mick Hennessy. And I didn't know anything about it. So... and apparently I didn't realise until some 12 months or 18 months later why they never went with Barry McGuigan. Because they said Barry McGuigan never had a promoter's licence. Whether this is true or not, I have no idea. And that was it. So, and then I met Mick Hennessy, and he seems a very nice fellow, and they're doing a fine job with him. So that's as much as that's how it's panned out.
Tyson's got a great deal now with Channel 5 because he's on terrestrial television, so people know who Tyson Fury is.
Yeah, sure. You know, Mick Hennessy has got him some fantastic exposure. You know, he's done a fantastic job in promoting Tyson. You know, I've got nothing but good to say about Mick. You know, he's a good promoter. You know, he's doing his job, and you know, he's out there. He's in touch with me all the time, getting my opinions on fights and views. So it's a close-knit thing, and you know, we're all working as a close team to get Tyson where he needs to be. There's no ill feelings, animosity. Everybody's singing on the same hymn sheet.
So, in terms of a trainer, where did you learn the philosophy of, you know, because obviously you've got a different philosophy to Chris Johnson, Where did you learn that philosophy for you to brought Tyson to where he is now, to be in the fantastic shape that he's in now, and to be on the verge of a world title shot?
Well, it's hard to say because I don't know if I've learned at all. So it's hard to say what you mean by learn. I think it's a lifetime of experience, being involved in training, having personal experiences myself with training, over the years, and you pick things up over a lifetime, and you give that knowledge and experience, and you pass it on, and having similar experiences in life, and Tyson being my family as well. We can connect. The trust is there, the openness is there, and he knows as an uncle, I love him to bits, and it's not a financial thing. So I just want my nephew to be the best there is, make the family name proud of being the best in the world. And already I said to Tyson, if you don't achieve anything else, I'm very proud of you. I said, we're your family. I said, and my job is to protect you, get you in there super fit, super shape, do the best you can. And the ultimate aim for me is Tyson getting a world title. And more paramount for me, obviously, as a family member, is not getting hurt. So it's all that wrapped into one for me. So I train with a passion as well. There's no corners cut whatsoever. There's an ultimate respect situation. It's not what people think. It's hardcore training here. There's blood and guts. Everything goes into it. There's mental trauma going on in this camp. Because every day, wind, rain or snow, 8 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, the food, everything is on the hour, it's on the minute, everything's wrote down, everything's done, and everything has to be excelled time and time and time again. And these boys, I got to give them full credit, because I don't order them what to do. I'm with them doing it. I've got the stopwatch. I'm running at the side of them. I'm telling them to get down, do this, do that. I'm in their ear 24/7. They're not sent in the gym to hit a bag. I'm on their neck 24/7. What they eat, how they sleep, everything. So they're living with me 24/7, and I put my life into that. So it's a full-time commitment. So when people say, oh, is there any excuses? Is your fighter not ready? There'll never be an excuse from me, because there isn't any.
What about when there are circumstances and situations where fighter and trainer, where trainer becomes the carrier of the fighter's gym bag? You've heard of many situations like this. What do you do when you have a fighter that is doesn't quite agree with what Peter Fury has to say?
Well, it's like this, it's family again, and there has to be a respect going two ways, and I don't like ignorant people. I'm a nice person myself, and I like nice people. I treat people with the utmost respect. Even if people are a little bit disrespectful, I will still try and be most respectful back. But ultimately, I don't like being disrespected, as I would not treat anyone else like that. So anybody like that, to me, has got a weakness in their mentality. It's a weakness in their character. And I don't see them as making it to the top, because to be a world champion, you haven't just got to be able to fight. You've got to have the dedication. You've got to have the commitment. There's a lot of things to build a world-class fighter's character. And, when you get people on such a world level, you find the characters, when you one-to-one, are impeccable, because they just do whatever. If I said to Tyson, get down and give me 1,000 press-ups, we know that's ridiculous, he ain't going to do it. But if I said, listen, get down and push them out, he will push and push and push until he passes out on his face.
Right.
That's the way he will do it. So the commitment from Tyson and the loyalty he gives back is 1,000%. So whatever I put into Tyson, he gives me back. So it's a two-way street, and that's the way it's got to be.
So
anybody who gives disrespect, I wouldn't be training him in the first place.
So there's never been a situation where Tyson's turned around and said, "Oh, wait, I'm not having this."
No, absolutely never. He thoroughly believes in me. I know what's right. I tell him in advance what he's going to be like. I tell him in advance exactly what weight he's coming in to the pound. When we start training camp, when he fights sometime in March, I will say to him, right, this is the weight you're going to come in. This is how we're going to deal with it. And that's exactly what happens. So when Tyson Fury trains with me, he knows exactly where he's going and what the achievements he's getting. You know, whether it be strength increases, whatever I say, you know, thank God it happens, and we achieve what we achieve our goals. So it can't be any better than that.
Okay, let's talk about the opponents, potential opponents for March. Adamek?
Adamek, we got no chance with. We tried Adamek, and you know, spoke to Mick Hennessy a few days ago, and spoke to Adam Harris in Canada, and he said Adamek's just running for the hills. So there's no chance we're going to get Adamek. He realises where he's at, and Tyson's just too big, too strong. It's just not going to happen. Adamek is taking the full credit to him. He's taking the fights which he believes he can win, and he's being carefully managed to try and get another title shot. So I think Adamek's solely in it for the money.
The fights that he can win, or the fights that he's predicted to win? In other words, guys, all he has to do is get to the end of the fight, and he'll get the decision anyway.
Yeah, you know, this is it. You know, for me, I would have to. I can't give a lot of 100% respect for fighters that doesn't take fights when they're offered the fights. So, you know, this is it. So Adamek is out the window. We're not going to get him. We'd like to get him, but we can't get him. So, you know, that's it. You know, maybe ask Adamek the reasons why, because we can't make that fight.
Steve Cunningham.
Yeah, Steve Cunningham now. If we don't hear anything positive, re Vitali or he defends against Stivine or Ariola, you know, and he goes that route, and we'll look for a keep busy fight. And Steve Cunningham could be on the cards. So I like the fight, and if Steve Cunningham's up for the fight, then I don't see why that can't be made.
Okay, who else would you fight if you couldn't get Steve Cunningham? You can't get Adamek. Vitali doesn't want it. Who else would you throw in that mix?
Well, we'll take Ariola, we'll take Stivine, we'll take Boitsov, you know, anyone.
Well, Ariola and Stivine have got eliminator, haven't they? So those two would be out of the question.
So who would you recommend? Do you think? Because at the moment, you know, we've tried to get before Kevin Johnson, we tried to get everyone, and we couldn't really end up getting anyone. There's only Johnson.
Well, you could clean up at home. You could deal with David Price, which managerial-wise or business-wise, personally makes absolute no sense, because David Price could go on and win a world title, get a version of a world title, and could defend against you guys, and vice versa, which would sell out and make more money.
Yeah, you know, look, I'm not taking anything away from David Price, but David Price is well behind the rankings of Tyson. And that's only because he started his professional career some 18 months after Tyson had turned pro. So there's a long way to go yet. You know, a lot of people want the fight. It's already on the headlines. And, you know, we hope to God Price keeps winning. Because if Tyson gets a world title, or if Price gets a world title, then that's going to be one hell of a defense. So we just see that fight is definitely happening within the future. I wish Price and his team all the very best.
How would you respond to people saying that Tyson and Tyson's camp are cowards?
Well, look, you know, they can say what they want, but I think deep down they know the score. You know, it's absolute rubbish. If Tyson had his way, he'd have fought Price months and months ago. You know, but you know, we've got Mick Hennessy there, you know, and he's on the top of the world now, Tyson. He's got bigger and better things, and to be honest, you know, we as a team don't feel Price is ready for Tyson anyway. We don't see him on the same level. We see a lot of mistakes he makes, and he's not been pushed at all. You know, he's not even been hit back properly yet. So I'm not saying he can't. What I'm saying is Price is totally untested material, and when he gets hit back, what do we expect? We have no idea. You know, we've got all our assumptions, but until that time, we see he's accurate, he's fast, he's big, and he can hit for sure. He can hit like an hammer. So, you know, it's all there, the potential's there, but there's one big question. What's he like when they hit people and they don't go down and they're there and they're in the fight? This is what we have to wait and see. And we haven't seen that yet, so it's definitely not where Tyson's position is, and it's not on Tyson's level. So that fight to us, if we took it today, and although it would shut a lot of people up, to us it wouldn't prove much, because Price has only had 14, 15 fights max. So to us, it's not really an exciting fight at the moment. It's building up to be something special. So we hope Price is In 12 months' time is where Tyson is now, 20 fights. And he's ready, he's knocking on the door for a world title challenge. And that world title challenge hopefully will be against Tyson, because Tyson will be the one who holds it.
Excellent. Let me think. There's something else I really want to ask you about Tyson Fury. In terms of setting up an interview with Tyson, it would be excellent if BWT TV could get a chance to talk to Tyson, to hear his view on not just David Price and Tony Bellew, but his view on their heavyweight division from Vitali right down to number 10 fighter in the world. It'd be interesting to hear what he thinks.
Well, yeah, Tyson's back here on the 10th of January.
Yep.
Started training on the 14th. And, we've got a lot of respect for people in fight fans and people who know the job. So, and you're one of them, Ingram. So there's no problem with Tyson doing an interview with you. So we can get him on an interview, no problem. And I will arrange it whenever you're ready.
Thank you so much, Peter Fury. Thank you so much for talking to BWT TV.
Listen, you're very welcome. Pleasure to have me. And let's hope we have bigger and better things in 2013, and I'm sure we will.
And as soon as you get that fight, the fight in March announced, I definitely want to be there to get the interview.
We will do. Hopefully it'll be in America, because we want Tyson to make his debut out there, and let a lot of the American fans see him up personal. So there's all good things happening.
Excellent stuff. Thank you very much for talking to BWT TV, Peter Fury.
Thank you, and God bless you, and have a good evening.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that interview with Peter Fury. Before you ask, because I know you're going to ask, am I going to be able to get Tyson Fury? Yes, BWT will get an interview with heavyweight contender Tyson Fury. Some people love him, some people hate him. For me, I find him highly entertaining, and it's going to be one power-packed interview for sure. So don't miss out. Subscribe today so you can hear me talk to the big man, Tyson Fury. Thanks for watching, and look forward to seeing you in other shows. Take care. Goodbye.